My Idle RPG has a problem, and I'm not entirely sure what the solution is. So a couple of days ago, I released the public beta playtest of my Idle RPG, Alden Idle. It's been great so far. There's been a few people that have actually started to play the game. Also a few people that got it early from Discord. If you're not on the Discord, link below to join. And this has surfaced, first of all, a bunch of bugs and UX things that weren't really quite up to par that I've since fixed, but has also given me insight as to how you, the players, are actually playing this game and getting enjoyment from it. And this feedback hasn't been entirely positive, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that a lot of game devs, and just generally if you're building anything and putting it out into the world, you're eventually going to face, which is, you spend all of this time building something that you think is cool, and you have it in your head, right, that like this would be amazing, and then you develop it for weeks, for months, for years sometimes, and then you launch it into the world, and then it gets faced with reality, with other players, right, who aren't in your head, who don't see things the way that you see things, right, who see this as a fresh thing, completely new, and have no idea how it actually works and what they're supposed to do with it. And that was the experience that I ran into, right, because I released this after months of working on it. And there was a ton of like UX things. For example, initially, you actually weren't able to do any of these skills over here. Everything was completely locked. If I can just find something that is locked, for example, yeah, everything basically showed this locked button. And then here on desktop, if you're on the web, you actually see why it's locked. You see here it requires 1x thread. It's because I'm missing thread to be able to actually make these boots. But on mobile, which a lot of players were playing on, this was not visible. This toast over here was not visible, so it wasn't clear what they had to do. Basically, the way that I had the system was I needed them to actually go and select a tool over here, right? Like a needle or a knife or like a chisel or whatever. And then based on that tool, that would then unlock their specific things. But that's a horrible user experience for a first-time user that has no idea how these skills work, right? Like that tools exist and methods exist and how all of that happens, right? And then there was a bunch of issues on the combat side of things, like you weren't able to see all the other monsters while you were inside of an active combat. You weren't really able to see like all of the drops of the monsters, and it was just very, very confusing. But the biggest thing that I kind of realized in doing this is by watching how people actually play this game. So these are the product analytics that I set up for Alden Idle, which by the way, this is really, really important to set up as early as possible in your game, basically before any users actually show up, because here you get to see exactly how users are using your game or your app or whatever it is that you're building, and you can derive very useful insights from it like I have. So here we have just three different graphs over here, different charts that I can look at. One is my daily active users, one is my retention, and one is a custom funnel, which is basically how many people that come onto the game, right, get their first page view over here, how many of them actually start an activity, which basically means, do they start a skill, do they start like a combat or whatever it is that they do, how many of those do that. And as you can see here, things are not looking too good. So my daily active users on the first day, this is when I initially posted it to Discord, Friday the 17th, there was 10 people that came to check it out. I also posted about it, I believe, on Twitter and Threads, although I'm not sure it was exactly on that day, might have been here, but regardless, 10 people came in. Out of those 10 people, only 4 were there the next day. Out of those 4, they came back, all of them, the next day, which is good. At least it shows some retention. But then you can see the next day 3, and now today, just 1. Granted, the day is not over yet, but you get the idea. It is a downward trend, which is a little bit concerning, but at the same time shouldn't really be taken at face value because this is a playtest, right? I'm basically asking people to come here and test out my game. This is not really them playing it for their own enjoyment. This is them playing it to like find bugs and do that, which may affect the actual daily active users and how much they're coming to see it. On the retention side of things, you can pretty much see like the same information. So on Friday, 10 people came in, right? And out of those, you can see here that on the last day, basically out of those initial 10 that came in, none of them have came back today, right? Here we see one, but this person actually probably came from some other time, I think came today, right? So that's once again a bit concerning, right? And maybe there's some things to do to improve, but I have to get some actual feedback from these users because most of these users are on Discord and they'll tell me feedback and I can just directly ask them, hey, why haven't you been playing the game? Is it just you don't enjoy the game, or is it something like your personal life got in the way, or whatever it is that it might be? And here, similar story, the page view to activity start, basically 14 people in total came to the game, right, and saw it, and out of those only 5 actually started it, which means that you have 9 people that basically came here, decided I'm not done for this, and just left and did nothing with it. So it is concerning, but you're always going to get some percentage of people that drop. So what does this mean for Alden Idle? And the thing is, I don't actually know. This is not like a new genre of game at all, right? This is basically like Melver Idle. I have it over here. This is Melver Idle, just in my opinion, with like better user interface, right? But for this type of game, I'm starting to realize that user interface is not necessarily the best thing, because Melver Idle doesn't have like the best user interface, right? The way that it looks, it's a bit clunky. It's a bit like information overload, but they have the most amount of players in this genre. So I don't think that's really what players are actually looking for. What Melver Idle does and has that my game doesn't is a lot more content, right? Like every single skill, they have like mastery. That mastery can be global on the skill itself, can go in here on the individual items, right? Based on that mastery, you can like upgrade things, you can get benefits, perks and stuff like that. There's a lot more skill interdependence. There's a lot more skills, period. They have expansions and there's a lot more things to do. I'm fully aware of this, and this is because they've been building this game for like 10 plus years, right? And I just launched my beta playtest, so I can eventually get closer to this, but currently I am not there. But outside of that, I'm also feeling, and this is something that I felt for a while, which is why I tried to do like the factions initially when I had those and like even campaigns. I feel that I'm missing some like overarching like meta story or meta game, really, right? Because now you just have these skills over here and you're just leveling them for the purpose of leveling them, for the purpose of just seeing like number go up. And my question is like, is that enough? Because it doesn't feel enough, at least to me. Like on Melver, the way that they solve this is by just giving you way more to actually do. Like you're basically leveling your woodcutting to be able to, I don't know, like chop double trees or whatever it is that they do, to then get more mastery, so you can then use something on a specific tree, which then the tree is going to give you something in another skill, which you can then use for like combat or a quest or another skill. And there's just like so much to do that you're constantly working and chasing towards something else. So I don't know if it's just that is missing on my game, if it's just the content or if it's something more. Because again, I'm not trying to build Melver specifically. That would not be like a good idea, right? Because Melver is great for what it is, and I don't want to basically copy Melver. I want to make my own thing over here. So what is that my own thing, right? Like what is missing for this game? And I don't know. And that's part of the reason why I launched this as a playtest, even in this state currently, because I want to figure out what that is. Because it might just be more content. It might just be a better like guiding progression, like an adventure log or something like that. Because currently what I've noticed is when you come on the game and you actually don't have anything, I think I have a earlier save here. Yeah, where I don't really have anything. I'm an adventurer. I'm level 1. I have nothing over here, right? And there's nothing really telling me what should I do, or even what's the point of doing these things. I have to kind of like go and explore and figure out my own path and choose whatever I want to do, which I mean, that's, I think, to the best of my understanding, what Melver Idle does, and it works for them. So I don't know. So I'm at a point now where there's definitely something that is missing in my game. I can feel it, right? And I'm trying different things. Like I'm going to start working on new content for the game, right? To add some things. I've added now even a bunch of new content. For example, all of these chests over here and all of these like unique items that give you like combat effects. This is something new that I've added after I initially launched the beta playtest to all of my Discord users, and I'm slowly going to start adding more things, and I'm really hoping that this video reaches enough people that actually want to play this game and help me playtest it, because I think, at least I feel and I hope, that this game has a foundation. There's something here that we can build on, right? There's something here that could be great. And I'm fully aware it is not there right now. That's totally fine. But I'm really hoping that there is something that could eventually be there. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you've played this game. Like, what do you think about it? What do you feel? Like, is there something missing? Like, what would you do if this was your game? If you wanted it, if you could have this game in any way that you want, right? Your dream idle game. Like, what would you do? What would you change here? I would love to know. And if you haven't played this game, please come check it out. It's completely free. You don't need any account. All your data is stored locally. Go to the link in the description. It's beta.aldenidle.com and just come play it. Come check it out for yourself and leave some feedback so that I can hopefully, we together can hopefully build a real and better game. So yeah, that's all that I have for now. It's been a very interesting couple of first days of beta testing, and I'm sure it's going to be an even more interesting next couple of weeks of beta testing. At least I hope so, and I will keep you updated as to how everything goes. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next devlog. Ciao, ciao.